I realized that the bicycles I have been promoting on this site and everything I approve of is pretty expensive. Somebody said not long ago that the ideal price of a bicycle should be $500, and that might be the case if you are happy with a machine manufactured no-name import from China. You can certainly get it for $5,000, but the stuff I'm promoting on this site is all classic elite top-end stuff that's going to last a lifetime if you take care of it. But even then, you look at the prices. The Brompton steel frame is probably the cheapest entry into this whole category, and even that is going to cost you $1,200 for something with only 3 speeds. This is actually a very good deal for a 3-speed classic bicycle that can last a lifetime if you care for it. If you want to go for the more upper end models, you're going to approach or pass $2,000 even if this is only a steel frame. Titanium and steel, that's $3,000. Now if you go for something a little bit more of a performance, the cheapest birdie you can get is almost $2,000, and they go up all the way to $6,000 depending upon what you want. This is the tubular frame. If you want a monocoque with the internal cabling and everything, although even this one has internal cabling, I'm surprised. So even this one is $2,000. It goes up to $6,000 depending upon how sophisticated a setup you want. And then there are the moultonbikes. There are a few of them you can get for under $3,000. There's absolutely nothing below $2,500. The one I like here, I could get for $3,500, which is really not bad for what you're getting. But definitely something that requires a budget. And the Moultons go up all the way to the double pylon, which cost $18,000. Also, the mini motorcycles and scooters I have discussed, they all cost thousands of dollars. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to save any money, ask for any money, get a raise at work or whatever, put in extra hours. You can create a budget without spending or saving and earning or saving any extra money. I can guarantee you that, and I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can do that. The first thing you can do is there are these Brompton groups on Meetup, and I'm looking at the one from New York, and it says, "We do not use this platform to sell anything." So this platform is not to sell anything, but they have some events, not all of them, but some of the events are at the bike shop. So this was a recent event. If you sign up and if the event is in the bike shop, they're not selling anything, but you are surrounded by bicycles. They are giving away these cupcakes with the Brompton logo on it. Since they are not selling anything, they should give you a bike for free. That's what I say. If the promise is true, if they are not lying. So you might want to join some of these groups on Meetup and wait until they have something at the Brompton Junction store and go there and ask for a free bike. And there are all these other communities. They are all over the place. East Coast, West Coast, even in Japan. Not everywhere, but if you can get a free bike, I cannot guarantee it, but that's what they seem to be suggesting. So if you can get a free bike, it's worth even flying in or driving up there. It's still cheaper than to get a new bike. So this is number 1. But if you cannot join, if you don't live nearby, if you live far away, then you may want to consider cutting down on some of your luxuries and shifting some of that budget over toward the purchase of a new bike. So if you have subscriptions for online entertainment, people spend so much money on this. If you're paying monthly for Netflix, you have a subscription to interracial amputees or whatever, that's going to be probably at least $50 a month. If you can go on the free entertainment that's available on the internet anyway for 10 months out of a year, that would be $500 saved. So in 3 years, you could pay off an entry-level bike. You could get an entry-level Brompton. You could almost get a Birdie. You can't get a Moulton for that price. Although, if you kept it up for a decade, you could probably get a pretty good Moulton as well. And remember, these bikes last a lifetime. Now, I realize that some of you cannot give up your entertainment. Maybe your wife has grown out or her facial hair or her body hair, and you need your adult entertainment subscriptions. If that's the case, then I'll give you an even better idea. You can shift budgets over from your transportation. After all, a bicycle is about transportation. And I am showing you an average Joe estimate for a New York zip code, my zip code, of an average car. The Toyota Camry, the most typical car owned in the US. This is the cost of what you pay with the financing, taxes, fuel, and insurance included. This is 5 years of ownership. The cost is $38,000. What this means is that if you did not drive for 5 years, I realize this is a good long time, but that's the money that would buy you 2 top-end Alex Moulton double pylon bicycles. And to be honest, even just putting the car in storage for 1 year, just cutting out the insurance, the maintenance, even the taxes, you may not have to pay taxes if it's in storage. You have to pay for financing, depreciation, that you cannot avoid. But look at the fuel cost. In 1 year, you could shift enough budget over to the purchase of a new bike so that you could get a pretty good one. You could get more than an entry-level Brompton. You could probably get a half titanium Brompton. You could get even an entry-level Moulton, or maybe a little bit more than entry-level. Suppose you don't live in a suburb or in the countryside, you live in a city, you don't have a car. This is New York City. I'm showing you the cost of public transportation in the city. In New York, to get a so-called MTA card or Metro card, which is actually good for the buses and the subway trains anywhere within New York City limits, that would cost you $1,300 for 10 months. So even if you decided to take the train only for 2 months out of a year, you could be saving the price of an entry-level Brompton in a single year. And if you do this for several years, you use the bike instead of the subway, it's going to pay for itself. The savings you get from not riding the subway and the bus for, say, 10 months out of a year is plenty enough to buy pretty much anything you would want. Anything I have already shown to you up to $3,000-$4,000, and you would save the money back in like 2, 3, 4 years. Now, we're going to look at what if you live in the suburbs and if you don't have a car. I actually know somebody who lives somewhere in Darien, a very fancy upscale suburb in Connecticut. The guy is smart. He spent his money on buying a house whose price has been going up and up, instead of buying a car whose price in most cases is just going down and down. But even in his case, if he decided not to take the train but buy a bike and commute by bike at least some of the time, In 10 months, that's $3,000. That's something to think about. So I would say if you really want it, you can get it. There's no way you would not be able to shift budgets over, and you can get pretty much any bike I've ever talked about without extra work, without saving any money, without borrowing or any of that. So that's all I wanted to say. Belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll be back with more videos next year.